Hey guys, this is Jacques from MakuluLinux and welcome to another video. So today I want to show off a new distro that we're working on that's going to go live soon. But before I do that, I just want to mention that we did just release the latest Flash a couple of weeks ago, MakuluLinux Flash Edition, as well as we updated the core and the Windows ISOs. Major changes, big updates. So you may want to go look at those three builds. They are live, superb builds. I'm sure you will enjoy using them, so check them out. So today I want to show off the new MakuluLinux Unity build. And this is not the first time we've made a Unity build. We did this a couple of years ago when Ubuntu stopped their Unity. You know, when they discontinued Unity, kind of saw a hole there that I thought needed some filling, and so I made sort of a similar to Unity kind of build. Of course, this build and that build is vast differences. However, that build did lay the groundwork for this current build that you see here now. So let's take a look at this Unity distro and see what's under the hood, because this is quite an interesting build. Okay, so you know that the original Unity had a top panel and it had a side panel as well. The sidebar was I think about maybe 2 or 3 times wider than this one, so it was quite a wide sidebar. The top panel was probably just a little bit broader than the current one now. Right, so I've tried to keep these as thin as possible. So you've got a nice skinny thin top panel here, and you've got a very slimmed down side panel. I'm running at a resolution of 1080p here, so if you're running at a higher resolution, these panels will be even smaller. Okay, so this is at 1080p, and you can see it's quite slim, very trimmed down. Now, the original Unity build had the menu, these actual menu options in the actual top panel, as well as the close, minimize, and maximize. It was in the top left hand corner. It was really annoying. It took people forever to get used to that. So yeah, I did not do that. I did not want that option. I liked that the buttons are in the actual app that's being opened, as well as the menu is in the actual app or file manager, so forth, so that people control it like they are pretty much used to at this point. The top panel serves mainly as a plugin, or should I say extension panel. You can add as many extensions. You can fill the whole panel up. You can move the extensions around, have them on the left, in the center, on the right, space them. You can go crazy. There are a couple of extensions already enabled, and I'll get to those in a little bit. The side panel houses, of course, your main menu, which is Arc menu at this stage, and it has the GNOME overlay menu. Okay, so just like the original Unity kind of look and feel. So if you click on the menu, it brings up the overlay, which is transparent as well, so you can see the wallpaper in the background. Has a search function and some other right-click options. Below the menu, you'll get a bunch of favorite icons, okay, as well as your trash can right at the bottom. Okay, so opening up something like file manager, for example, will actually put it nicely inside like a box effect. We have the top panel and the side panel visible at all times, and your open app as like a box effect, sort of laying in the middle of that, like inside a box. This top and side panel gives sort of like a half C or a upside down L kind of effect. So that is the current layout. Okay, however, you can edit these layouts. Okay, we have a thing called the layout manager. So if I right click on the desktop, I can choose layout manager. There we go. So I can just get that simply just by right clicking and choosing layout manager. Now I can move these around simply just clicking here. As you can see, it says select your preferred layout, left or right. So this is left. If I click right, just click on the picture, it moves the panel to the sidebar to the right, and it moves the clock to the left. Okay, if I click on the left one again, it moves the panel to the left, moves the clock to the right, and it tells you IntelliHide is turned off. So it does give you actually like a little notification of what's happening. So you can move the panel easy just by clicking the little picture. It takes like not even a second. You can move that bar left or right, whichever you are comfortable with. Okay. But that is the just moving their panel. The panel is still always visible at all times. There is an option to IntelliHide. There it is. If you hold the mouse cursor over there, maybe I should make that more colorful. Maybe it will be a little bit more visible and colorful in the final build. However, it says here, click here to IntelliHide sidebar. So this little app will, this little function will actually detect on which side of the screen your bar is, and then it will auto hide the bar. So we've put it on the left. So let's click on IntelliHide. Now it says your panel is now set to IntelliHide. So let's close that. And let's open up something. So as you can see, the panel is visible, but the moment you go full screen, the sidebar disappears. You can just move your mouse into the corner to bring the sidebar back, but other than that, it is completely gone. You can now use all of that space. Okay, you minimize when that space is not being used. The bar will show, and when it is needed or is used, the bar will disappear. So that's of course IntelliHide. That's what IntelliHide means. You got auto hide when the bar is always hidden, but there's no point in that. You want to see it when you're not using that space. IntelliHide is basically the new auto hide. It hides it when you need that space. Okay, so if you want to set IntelliHide, easy. If you want to take IntelliHide off, you just click on the back on the main picture again, and it says there your panel is set left and IntelliHide is off. So now you've got basically the same layout as before. The same thing if you click on the right one. We've clicked on the right, we've moved the panel to the right, and if you actually open up something now, if you now actually open up like a terminal or something and you maximize, you'll see now that the panel stays there. It doesn't move away, of course. But if you set it to IntelliHide, okay, we've now set it to IntelliHide, and now maximize, you'll see the panel bar goes away. Okay, and of course if I do that, it comes back. So it's set on IntelliHide as well on the right. Let's move back over to the left. I'm a left-handed person. I like it on the left. Okay, so I clicked on the left there, and of course that just puts the panel there, and it did say IntelliHide is turned off. And if I click IntelliHide again, it'll tell me panel set to IntelliHide, and as you can see, it's now set to IntelliHide when. But let's set it back to default. Okay, so there are options, and I'm still working on this, and I'll still make it all pretty and so forth before release, but there is the option to move the sidebar from the left to the right with a single click, and of course to auto IntelliHide the sidebar with one click as well. Because I know some people are going to go like, yeah, but you know, that's wasted space, blah blah blah. If it really bothers you, set it to IntelliHide. Problem solved. No more wasted space. Whenever you maximize anything, the bar disappears, and if you move your mouse into the side of the screen, the bar comes back. So it really solves the problem. For the purposes of this demo video, I will leave the bar as in set, so you can see it full screen visible at all times. Right. The actual distro is also based on GNOME. Obviously, as you can see, it's GNOME framework with the extensions here at the top. So we've got a couple of extensions by default. There's some nice extensions here that you can use, as well as a little extension list app, which actually shows you a list of extensions, which ones are currently enabled, which ones are not enabled, and so forth. And by the way, you can hide this top bar. If you don't want to see this top bar at all, you can hide the top bar there, hide top bar. You can even go configure the options to hide the top bar, when to hide it, what animation to use, what keyboard shortcuts, the pressure to bring it back with a mouse and so forth. So you can hide the top bar. We have put the option to hide the top bar. Simply click there and click hide top bar, and the bar's gone. For the sake of the demo, demo purposes, I will leave the top bar visible, but you can hide it. So if the bars bother you, you can hide both bars and have them both come up whenever you move a mouse into whichever part of the screen. That's not a problem. For the purposes of this video, I will keep them visible so you can see them. Let's take a look at what's under the hood. We're using Nemo obviously as the main file browser here. So as you can see there, Nemo 4.8.6, which is fairly new. Shortcuts into the little favorite shortcuts here is files, terminal, you got a Google Chrome browser, you got the software center over there, you got play on Linux, which means Wine is pre-installed. Wine will now come pre-installed on all of our distros. Every single one of our distros will have Wine pre-installed with play on Linux. If anybody wants to install any exe file or any MSI file from Windows, go ahead, do it. awesome. If it's supported by Wine, which majority are, it will probably run well. So Wine and Windows distribution files work out of the box in Makulu. You can just double click in exe, double click in MSI, and just run it as you would on Windows. We've also enabled popcorn time. Now I know there's a lot of people that go, ooh, popcorn time, isn't that illegal? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what's legal and what's not legal nowadays anymore. It's not like the old days where you had a visible black and white sort of a line drawn that made certain things legal and certain things illegal. I think it's very, very hard for anybody, to sue for this kind of thing now, because you can get these types of apps all over the internet free of charge. You just download them, and I doubt anybody's going to come after a specific individual for running popcorn time on his system. So I think it's okay to include it. Besides, we're not based in America. We don't have the drama that happens there, so yeah, I put it on. If you feel that you can't run popcorn time, remove it. It's really easy to uninstall it. You go into your software center, remove it, or you go into Synaptic Package Manager, remove it. Just uninstall it if you're not comfortable with having it on your system. But it is there, fully functional, and you can watch movies, series, whatever, straight from torrent sites. You can watch it live. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. So yeah, popcorn time fully working out of the box, pre-installed in Makulu. There it is. We also have Hypnotix installed, and I'm sure you guys know what Hypnotix is, designed by Linux Mint. It gives you a lot of live TV channels that you can watch for free in different countries. UK 24, USA 18, news, movies, so forth, so forth. So there's some nice live streaming TV channels out of the box that is working. You also got Synaptic Package Manager, of course, and you got your settings, of course, the default settings. So you can, set your system settings. And then, of course, you've got the Makulu portal, which gives you quick access to certain parts of the OS. And you have the Update Manager, Package Update Manager, and of course the trash can. So these are the default icons on the side panel. We have not pre-installed many apps. There are some, Bleachbit. It's mostly back-end stuff. You've got a calculator, calendar, contacts, and so forth. You've got a disk manager, Bleachbit for cleaning your system, a driver manager, extension manager, firewall. You've got all of your Light DM, GTK manager. You've got a MPV movie player. You've got your software sources to update your repositories, packages, of course, to see which packages are installed. Warpinator is installed, of course. Play on Linux and Winetricks are installed. You've got GNOME tweaks because it is a GNOME-based framework that we're using, so you can tweak it, additional tweaks on top of what we implement through GUIs and so forth. So there are some mostly back-end stuff, but front-end is virtually very, very little installed. Very little. The only reason we install Popcorn Time is because it's something that a lot of people struggle to configure, and we thought, why not just pre-configure it for people? A lot of people use Popcorn Time or similar, they'll go onto websites and go look for Watch Series HD or some website to try and find some website or to watch movies or series. You can just do it in Popcorn Time. Native, it's on the system. We've pre-configured it for you. A lot of people like to nowadays use Windows, Linux, and Android, and so these operating systems are continuously being meshed, and people like apps being able to run apps across multiple platforms. So putting Wine onto Linux nowadays isn't just a luxury anymore. It's actually something that most people will probably do at some point. So I thought, well, why not pre-include that? So the reason for the pre-installation of some of these apps is because we felt that it might just serve to make it more user-friendly, easier for the end user. Other than that, most of the rest of the stuff we kind of keep standard across all of our distros, and that's our right-click menu where you can clock settings and have your themes and backgrounds. Okay, so the background manager, those guys that have used Makulu in the past know how this works. People that haven't seen this, we have a little background GUI app, so you can just right click on the desktop and choose desktop background. You get a little background app here, and you can just sort of click a random or go back to a previous wallpaper or next one in a queue, but since you don't know what it is, it becomes a random one. Or you can just go desktop background, select wallpaper, and it brings up a ribbon here at the bottom, and now you can just sort of scroll all along here and just select a background that you wish to sort of enable. So there are some nice wallpapers that come with this Unity build. Beautiful, beautiful, that really complement the system. I mean, just look at that. Just look how nice that looks. So yeah, so you can just go to desktop background and then obviously just select the wallpaper, and voila, Bob's your uncle. It's really easy to change wallpapers on Makulu. You also have lots and lots and lots of options here, and of course you can actually, because we use Variety Wallpaper Changer, you can actually go into Variety Wallpaper Changer and go set up so many options there. Right, we also have the desktop clock, which is this conky clock, which allows you many options. Enable, disable the clock, so you can just disable it completely. Just click disable, and now the clock is off, and it will be off even after you reboot. It is completely disabled forever until you turn it back on. People have been asking for that feature for a long time. So if you want to disable the clock now, you can. Okay, so you can just leave it off if you want, or you can just click right click, choose the clock options, and it turns it back on. It says it takes about 20 to 30 seconds to turn on. That's just because Conky is on a timer. Right, so while we're waiting for it to turn on, let's just open up the options here again. So you've got enable, disable clock. You can set it from black to white. Okay, you can turn the clock black, turn the clock white. That's also nice because there we go, it came back. That's also nice because if you're running if you have a wallpaper that's light in color and you can't see the clock, you can just make the clock black. Let's do that quickly. Make the clock black. As you can see now the clock's black. So on a white or light wallpaper, that clock will look nice, and of course on a dark wallpaper you can make the clock white. So that sort of negates the problem of the wallpaper being the same color as the clock. You can set the clock 12, 24 hours. You can move it left or right. So if I move it left, the clock moves to the left. Click right, clock moves to the right. And that's basically the feature that you saw when I was moving the bar to the right. The clock then moved to the left, and vice versa. You can also set the quotes here at the bottom. You've got some interesting quotes here. You can set them to update hourly or daily. You also have a little news feeder there, and of course if you go to additional settings, you can turn each of these individual items on and off. So that's nice. So the little clock GUI is awesome. You can just right click on the menu on the desktop, choose desktop clock, and you can just control your clock from this little GUI. Lots and lots and lots of options. Very nice. Themes, another little thing that you can get from the right click menu. So right click menu, you can control desktop backgrounds, desktop clock, layout manager, and themes. Okay. Themes obviously allows you to change your mouse cursor instantly, so you can sort of just choose whichever mouse cursor you want. It will change, and look at that. You can actually see a little preview right there. Just easy. Right, change your mouse cursor. You can also change the theme color. Okay, so we're currently on this sort of turquoise blue. So let's go to a red. As you can see now, the little files folder has moved to red. And if I open up files itself, everything's red. Even if I select something, the menus are red. Everything, all the highlights are red. Pretty much everything's red. If I actually drag the mouse, you'll actually see a red sort of translucent box as well. Even the close button is now red. Okay, when it was when we had the turquoise blue and everything was blue, the close button was blue. So if I go back to red again, let's leave it on red for a while. As you can see, everything's red. Even the right click menu is red. Okay, so everything's red. So you've got nice variety of colors that you can choose from, which is really nice because, you know, people like diversity. You might like a gray or a green or a yellow or a pink or a purple color, or whatever you like, we have it. You want pink as well, like if you're a girl and you're into pink stuff, or even guys that are into pink stuff, I don't know. You know, you got this really nice sort of very not too bright kind of pink look. So yeah, okay, let's go back to red. I want to keep it on red for a while. Okay, so we also have dark themes, two dark themes, red on black and blue on black. Okay, so if you click on that, it will actually just make the okay, let's see, I need to actually make that lighter. Okay, so there you have it. Now you got a very dark theme. Okay, black on red on black and blue on black. Okay, but let's go back to this red one over there. So that's pretty much the front end. yeah, that's about as much as I'm going to probably show off today, because it is still work in progress. However, it is a really, really nice operating system to run. Really, really cool. Very stable base. We use the Debian testing as our core update system. The system itself runs fairly low on resources. I mean, right now we're using 800 megs, and I've been opening up just about everything I see everywhere. When I first started, it was idling on about 600 and odd megs of RAM, so that's nice. Actually, let's just change this background to something that's where the clock's maybe a little bit more visible. How about that horse, huh? That looks beautiful. Or let's go look for something else, like, where's don't we have a pyramid one here? I like the pyramid. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. I like that. I like the lion. There's a mermaid. Wow, look at that mermaid. Okay, so we got some really, really nice. Ooh, the lion. The lion looks good. Yes, I like the lion. We got a Popeye there as well. Let's choose a random one. Let's close here and just go background and just go next, and let's see what comes up. Ooh, background. Let's go next again. Okay, make the clock black there, because that clock, see, now this is where a black clock would serve well, as you can see. Okay, so we'll keep it on the dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? Anyway, as you can see, 850 megs of RAM, and that's after I've been opening up a ton of stuff, and some, because we do use preload on the system, some stuff will now remain open in memory. However, over time it will obviously close, and the consumption will go back down to about 600 megs. Out of the box, it was 664, I think, 664 megs of RAM out of the box, and then obviously as we opened up, things started using more RAM. The system is very stable, very beautiful, and of course you know that changing the layout is just as easy as clicking a button. So that basically concludes our video for today. I don't want to make it too long. I just want to point out that this distro is beautiful. There's lots of transparency on here. It's nice looking. It really does have that almost Unity-like feel. And of course you can set these panels to auto hide if you want, if they're in your way. Other than that, it does have that. You know what's nice about the side panel is it's not intrusive. I mean, most people when they run their distros, they have a bottom panel that's always visible, right? Or set to IntelliHide. This is the same, it's just on the side, and it's much smaller, which is nice because it doesn't take up a lot of screen space. If you set that to IntelliHide, you only have that top little panel there. That's very useful for logging out quickly, or you know, accessing quick extension access, whatever. And of course the extensions themselves, there you've got, I think I saw this morning, there was 158 pages of GNOME extensions that you can install, so you can really fill up this top panel. If you've got the system RAM, you can really just enable all kinds of stuff like screencasting, draw on your screen, certain stuff with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and all kinds of extensions that you can find nowadays, multi-monitor setups and blah blah blah, you name it, there's an extension for it. So you can fill up this top panel with all kinds of extensions that make your life easier while using Linux, or Makulu in this case. But it is a beautiful distro, beautifully designed, beautiful themes, beautiful wallpapers, lots of transparency, and this is a very unique look that you don't easily find anywhere nowadays. So this is the MakuluLinux Unity, or at least our take on a Unity build, and this will be live in the next couple of weeks. Okay, we are still working on Shift, and we've got some other stuff on the back burner as well, but we have Core that is live, our Windows is live, our Flash is live, so 3 distros this year already is live, and now Unity will be going live as well. So I hope you guys enjoy using it when it comes out. Follow our project and please support us. You know, money is extremely tight. I can't even begin to start talking about how tight money has been. So if you want to support the project, we really appreciate that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.